song I just finished with?
Yeah?
I sang that song the day your mother and I met at Atlantic City. We were just about your age. Did you know that?
Yes.
We met when I was under the boardwalk smoking a cigarette.
You smoke when you're at my age?
Yeah, sure.
What else did you do?
Whatever they told me not to. Anyway, I just finished doing the Sammy Pinker's Kitty Show, and I was trying to get some peace and quiet under the boardwalk steps, and I saw this prissy little girl wandering around.
Be sure to keep in touch, Sissy, okay? Well, sure. We're friends, aren't we?
Tail slate. That's a wrap, everybody. Thank you for a great day.
ITV and Diet Coke presented Movie Premiere.
A man sets out to seek a new life.
I've always wanted to see the frontier.
And finds it among the native Indians of the American West. Kevin Costner's epic story of love and adventure. An idealistic cavalry officer living as one of the Sioux, sharing their battles. A winner of 7 Oscars, Central presents the first showing of the movie Dances with Wolves this Sunday at 8:30.
Schofield's Quest tomorrow night investigates a series of strange stories from UFOs to missing persons. The quest starts at 7:30.
Well, I take whatever I want, and baby, I want you. Can't get enough of your love.
Was that okay?
Great. Rewind. Too far.
Avant-Garde, the new body spray from Impulse.
Hi.
We thought we'd go to the beach today.
Feel like a drive, girls? See you there.
Right, we're on, boys.
If you want 0% finance over 2 years on a choice of 2 exciting special editions, which are great fun to drive.
You can with a Nissan.
I wasn't born red, but I was born to be red. I always knew I was meant to shine.
New Clairol Ultras hair colorant is for the you were meant to be, with its rich, confident colors and unashamed shine. Ultras has a unique luminescent gel and a conditioner to give light and radiance to your hair, and an extra conditioner to ensure that radiance lasts.
This is the color I was meant to be.
New Ultras. Beautiful hair you know is you.
He scored! He scored! He scored a free Snickers ice cream with his Snickers wrapper. Check your Snickers wrappers for an instant win. 1 million Snickers ice creams to be won instantly. What a satisfying result.
Delicious malty flakes. The Kellogg's Special K low-calorie breakfast. Get the taste. Get the shape. Stay special.
Rimmel Silk's new silk shadow is a unique cream-to-powder eyeshadow. With pro-vitamin B5 and sunscreens for protection, it glides on and blends like a cream, drying to a lasting powder finish. Look beautiful with Rimmel Silk Silk Shadow.
Friends Provident has been helping people's dreams to blossom for 160 years. By trusting our experience, they've been able to plan for the future and realize their ambitions. We can help you provide for the years ahead too, with savings and investments, with pensions and with life assurance. Friends Provident, at every stage of your life, Friends provide.
Engines constantly tuned by computer. Suspensions that give an iron grip and a ride like silk. ABS that senses the surface each wheel is on. You might expect this technology in a supercar, but standard in a family saloon? You can with a Nissan.
Our movie bestseller tonight after the news, Airport 80, The Concorde.
Good evening, the news and sport from ITN. The headlines: another Euro crisis, Mr. Major at odds with other leaders over a new commissioner. Reports that Prince Charles wants to break the royal link with the Church of England.
And tonight's main sports news, Jack Charlton is banned and fined for World Cup misbehaviour.
The Prime Minister returned home from the Corfu summit tonight, having left Britain isolated within the European Union once again. He vetoed the appointment of Belgium's Jean-Luc Dehaene as the next president of the European Commission, even though he was the choice of the 11 other nations. The deadlock looks likely to continue, with France and Germany determined to see Dehaene succeed Jacques Delors.
John Major had first switched sides, backing the Dutch Prime Minister Ruud Lubbers instead of his own candidate Sir Leon Brittan. Then, in a dramatic move, he used the British veto to block Jean-Luc Dehaene of Belgium, the man favoured by all 11 other states. This afternoon he explained why he couldn't go along with the majority.
This is not a personal matter. It's not a matter of anything other than the desirability of who should be the president of the Commission. It is not a question of nationality, but I took the view that there were better qualified candidates than Jean-Luc to meet the requirements of this particular job.
The man they'd rejected condemned the use of the veto.
Well, that's a dangerous situation, and I think John Major takes big risks today. But I hope that the German Chancellor can solve them.
Suddenly, in the heat of a Greek afternoon, the European Union was in turmoil. Britain once again isolated. President Mitterrand of France said he wouldn't abandon Mr. Dehaene, nor should the others. The Greek Prime Minister, who'd hosted the meeting, accused Britain of being undemocratic.
Everybody but Britain supported Dehaene. We followed the democratic procedure. And Great Britain literally vetoed this procedure.
What happens now depends very much on the Germans, who take over the running of the European Union for the next 6 months. They may well have to find a new candidate. What isn't clear is whether the person they choose will be any more palatable to the British government than Jean-Luc Dehaene. Libby Wiener, ITN, Corfu.
Euro enthusiasts in the Conservative Party say the Prime Minister's position is potentially very dangerous. Tory Euro sceptics are urging him to stand firm. The Liberal Democrat leader Paddy Ashdown says Mr Major is more concerned with appeasing Neanderthal backbenchers than with Britain's interests in Europe.
A long way from Corfu on an English cricket field, an extra spring in the step today for Bill Cash, a leading player in the Conservative anti-European team. He and other Tory MPs welcome the Prime Minister's decision to stand his ground.
Well, there's no question at all. It's a very important intermediate step in the right direction. But we need to follow this up so that we do actually get some concrete proposals. We have to learn to say no politely and firmly.
I freely concede that at this precise moment it appears to be costing us friendship and support in certain places. But I believe it is the right way forward.
It's not the way forward, says Labour's Jack Cunningham. It's damaged Britain's standing in Europe.
Our country's best interests are always damaged when we're isolated and alone, when important decisions are taken in the European Union. And this is just another example of where Mr. Major has got his political strategy completely wrong.
The Conservative Positive European group are understood to be concerned at today's developments. They say that behind the scenes they'll be demanding to know whether Mr. Major has a coherent game plan, or whether he's simply looking for short-term credit within the party at the expense of Britain's long-term interests in Europe. Hugh Pym, ITN, Westminster.
The Prince of Wales wants to end the monarch's role as head of the Church of England and defender of the faith, according to tomorrow's Sunday Times. It says Prince Charles wants to break with the 450-year-old tradition when he becomes king, because Britain is now a multi-faith society.
Prince Charles, at a colour ceremony in Aberdeen today, is said to want an end to a tradition dating back to the time of King Henry VIII in the 16th century. He believes that when he succeeds the Queen, he ought to become a figurehead for all religions in Britain. Tomorrow's Sunday Times prints quotes it says are taken from a documentary to be broadcast on ITV this coming Wednesday. Referring to the fact that the monarch is traditionally head of the Protestant established church, the prince is quoted as saying, "I happen to believe that the Catholic subjects are as important, not to mention the Islamic and Hindu." It's a decision that's proving controversial.
To lose the spiritual link for the nation would be a sign that that no longer matters. And I think many other faiths and other Christian denominations would want a link to be held and continued.
This is the way you solve the problem of his divorce and his marriage. The opposition to his divorce essentially comes from within the Church of England.
Whatever his motives, Prince Charles's decision is already being welcomed by the leaders of other faiths. They say it will encourage religious tolerance.
Russian troops about to pull out of Germany marched through Berlin today, 50 years after splitting it in two as communism was imposed in the east. It was the biggest show of Russian military strength in Berlin since they celebrated victory over Hitler's forces. America, Britain and France had prevented them joining in the farewell parade held by the Western Allies last week. Now sport and Graham Miller.
Jeremy Bates is keeping British interest alive into the second week at Wimbledon. He qualified for the last 16 by beating Germany's Markus Zoker, thundering serve and all.
Quiet, please. With the last British player on centre court, it was a forlorn hope. A 12 o'clock start meant that only the genuine fans were in the stands, but for the Jeremy Bates fan club, this was a day to remember. Their hero had no trouble winning the first set. It was just as easy in the second against a German giant who looked less than comfortable at the net. Markus Zoker, though, had one thing going for him. That equalled the fastest ever serve in tennis history, 134 miles an hour. It cost Bates the third set, but he rallied in the fourth, took a 5-3 lead, and thrived as the tension built up. Then, with his wife Ruth behind him, Bates booked his place in the last 16. Game, set, match, Bates.
And the noise was incredible. I thought the whole place was going to just fall down.
Do you appreciate it?
Yeah, it's very nice, yeah. I travel 30 weeks of the year and I get abused 29 of them, so it's really nice to have 1 week when everyone's screaming for me.
Martina's farewell tour continues. The legs may be slower these days, but against Linda Harvey-Wild, experience was more than enough. Peter Staunton, ITN, Wimbledon.
Jack Charlton's been banned from the touchline for Ireland's crucial World Cup game against Norway for abusing officials. He's also been fined £10,000.
This is the incident that has infuriated soccer's governing body. John Aldridge cursing at officials who stopped him from coming on as substitute. Jack Charlton furious at the official who orders him away. For this, he's been fined £10,000 and banned from the touchline Aldrich has been fined £1,500.
The only thing I've ever shouted to a referee was, can we give them a drink of water?
A World Cup official has said Charlton is being banned for constant misbehaviour. In the first game against Italy, he again complained that Aldrich couldn't get on quickly enough and that he couldn't get water to his players.
Just see the manager, and then we'll talk about it later.
Charlton is the first manager of this World Cup to be disciplined. Aldrich didn't seem to be so concerned. World Cup officials say Charlton will have to watch Tuesday's game against Norway from the stands and communicate with his substitutes and his assistant by mobile telephone. For a game that's already pressured enough, it's another burden he and Ireland could do without. Bill Neely, ITN, Orlando.
In tonight's game, Belgium got through to the next stage, beating Holland 1-0. Both sides had their chances, but the only goal was scored by Philippe Albert. In cricket, Robin Smith made 134 for Hampshire, but too late perhaps to save his place in the Test team. And Linford Christie got angry after being warned for a false start in the European Team Championships at Birmingham, but he still won his race.
That's it from Graham, me and all the news team. Good night.
Good night.
Hello, good evening. Well, straight away let's deal with tonight's weather, and thankfully those thunderstorms have now more or less faded away. They're off the scene. We have a slight hiccup though in the form of some mist and fog patches floating around, and that's because we haven't got a lot of wind tonight, but obviously a high moisture content on the ground. So do watch out for this just in case you're out and about on the roads. The other thing is up in the very far northwest we've that cloud piling up with even more rain moving in. So straight away let's deal with tomorrow's weather. Do watch out for that mist and fog early on. It ought to burn off quite quickly. Not quite so the cloud, that'll tend to linger on more, but we do have some brightness breaking through as well. Now further north, yet again it's a case of that rain, some fairly hefty rain, long periods, drier interludes as well. And then during the course of the afternoon, where that rain slowly but surely extends across to eastern Scotland, but it will take its time to get there. And again, some fairly heavy bursts of rain. Further south, we've got that cloud tending to melt away and even more sunshine coming through, so a brighter feel to things all in all. Here a high of 22 or 72, 16 or 61 in the very far north, and a blowy day with it. Here's the summary.
Sponsored by PowerGen, a partner in Kinetica Natural Gas.
Central Weather, sponsored by Legal & General.
Hello there. Much drier night for the central region tonight. Maybe just a shower for Derbyshire. Could be a bit of thunder in that one as well. And much more comfortable temperatures all round, especially in the west. Lows of 9 or 10 Celsius there. A few mist patches through the night. A few sunny spells working their way through the cloud tomorrow. OK, Sunday really dry with temperatures in the low to mid 70s again. That's it. Good night.
Leslie Flitcroft likes to keep a few things secret, especially from his mother.
Not our Leslie.
Oh, yes, like his secret admirer.
Anything you want, you just have to whistle.
There's a lot more to Leslie than meets the eye.
That's how they are in Wolverhampton.
7 o'clock Sundays, Sin and Tonic, Mother's Ruin.
Sounds wonderful.
Next tonight on Central, our movie Airport 80, The Concorde.
Still no answer, sir.
Right, Boff. We're going in.
Wendy.
Snake bite.
Right, Boff. You listen to his clothing. I'll get the local doctor.
Au medico, Aperto. Habang adior. Last.
What is it, sir?
Apparently he is the local doctor.
That's enough loosening now, Boff. We're looking for his Barclay card, sir.
His Barclay card? This man's in no state to go shopping.
No, I'm going to phone them up for medical advice, sir.
You're going to phone Barclay card for medical advice?
Barclay card International Rescue, sir. They can send doctors and...
We're wasting time here, Boff. This man has a serious case of snakebite, and there's only one thing that's going to save him. I'm going to have to locate the wound and suck out the poison. Yes, actually, I think perhaps you better phone Barclay card, Boff. I'm not sure I've got there. You know, my lips were a little... But, well, I thought I had a solution, but then...
Where can you find permanently low prices on everything from sandwich fillers to tea time snacks for kids? From crisp salad to fresh fruit. From garden toys to sausages and burgers. At Asda, where prices are constantly checked to make sure they stay low, permanently low. That's Asda price.
In this kind of emergency, go straight for a stain remover with the power to tackle most household stains. 1001 Troubleshooter.
Protective. Effective. Safe. Who cares enough to provide safe, effective protection and after-sun for every kind of skin? Boots Sultan. Boots. We care because you do.
With Stena Ceiling Climb, you can enjoy very reasonable prices every single day of the year.
If you receive some Reader's Digest prize draw numbers, return them immediately, because someone somewhere is going to win £165,000.
Imperial Leather's range of shower gels, a little luxury in the privacy of your own home. Isn't that right, Mr. Trussell? Where's he gone?
Calling all armchair detectives.
Unsolved puzzle, missing people, stolen treasures, strange phenomena, the unexplained.
So, who's got the answers? You have.
All you need is a television and a telephone to join in some Sunday night sleuthing on Schofield's Quest at 7:30 on Central.
Live.
One instinctivally knows when there's something funny going on.
They think this might help with privatisation.
That was the most distressing experience I've had.
I thought you were the Queen. No, not yet.
But on Sunday nights on Central, anything can happen in the House of Windsor.
Now on Central, our movie bestseller, Airport, The Concorde.